Because today is the last day of COP28 by Sal Jaffar, the founder and CEO of the first and only environmental, social and governance knowledge hub in the MENA region. It's a great website, EsgMena.com, and Sal joins us once again. We appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
When you look at this final day for COP28, it's not really a day of reflection. It seems as though everyone is still in the midst of trying to negotiate and trying to finalise the COP28 deal.
It's something very normal. Several COPs have extended and been postponed, not extended basically rather, for several days. We saw that at previous COPs. So it's something normal and usual. That's a part of the negotiations all over the world, including at COP. It's something extremely deep at the highest global levels. That's exactly why we see the world's top of the top leaders personally come to COP. So it's something extremely deep, something extremely complex, something extremely top level. So negotiations and talks are still here, ongoing. But what I can tell you is that the UAE presidency is working 24/7 on bridging gaps, as you know, taking into account the excellent relations of the UAE with the all world leaders and the different parties. Yesterday, His Excellency Dr. Sal Jaffar went home at 4 a.m. So this reflects the intensity of the negotiations and the efforts of the UAE. Having said that, we're talking about basically global or the international decisions. But when it comes to UAE internally has delivered a lot at COP28 from day one till now.
Right. I'm sure that conversations are at that high level, but eventually when it comes down to finer points that will be put into practice by, everyone, you, I, the common man, would there be some highlights that you could probably talk about that they were put in motion?
Definitely, the biggest talk is about fossil fuel, phasing out or phasing down. The situation that some countries like the UAE, as you know, a member of OPEC, has done and developed a solid strategic strategy to celebrate the export of the last barrel of oil. That's exactly what His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed said at the World Government Summit around 7 years ago. So there's a solid path. Other countries are saying that no, we are in the middle of our transformation, such as Saudi Arabia, in line with Vision 2030, and we just finished from COVID, which was a huge pandemic and the issue worldwide. So we cannot afford taking risks because of phasing down or phasing out our fossil fuel. This would severely undermine our growth, our strategic transformation across the nation. So including also Russia is saying so. Even the United States, many companies have their bread and butter from this. So while other countries, as I said, like UAE, while others such as Africa are saying that we are suffering the most, as you know, from this energy crisis and the climate crisis. So we urge you, we cannot afford waiting one more day. So that's basically the complexity of this. So it's all about fossil phasing out, phasing down, or business as usual. Let's postpone it for 2-3 more years.
Whilst we still are in the midst of these final negotiations, Sal, looking back, what do you think have been some of the highlights and some of the landmark moments of COP28 thus far?
We achieved a lot. As you know, the loss and damage was huge. The $30 billion was huge. The 1 trillion dirham pledge by the UAE banks was absolutely huge. $270 billion. That's unprecedented. Steered the whole financial sector of the UAE. So we did achieve health for the first time was brought to the table. We saw Mr. Bill Gates personally coming, and the WHO president had as well coming. So lots of things really were announced, and I believe we have achieved a lot for UAE at least. So if you ask me about us as in the region, specifically for the UAE, I believe we have achieved a lot without any single doubt. That's crystal clear.
There was also a conversation about tripling renewable energy capacity by 2030. Now,
Yes.
I mean, this is a very strong indicator in which direction, the world wants to travel to. We wouldn't want to use a term right away on cutting down or rather phasing out fossil fuels. But the moment you start increasing the capacity or the capacity of the renewable energy, that will be a formidable source of energy for the world and time to come.
You have to understand that the real problem is there's a huge appetite and need for any sort of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you why. When my grandfather was born, the population of Earth was 1 billion people.
Right.
Today we are 8.3 billion, 8.4. We're heading to 13 billion very, very soon with my son and or my grandson. So the situation with my son and or my grandson. So the situation really is 15-fold. Plus, the nature of life has changed completely. Everything now on electricity, on energy. So there is a huge need for all sorts of energy across the world. There's a huge need. So we need all sorts of energy, and that's exactly why the UAE has embraced. We need nuclear, we need solar, we need wind, we need tidal, we need biofuels, we need fossil fuel, we need gas, we need all sorts, and still we need more. And that's the real problem. That's exactly why we're seeing all the price of energy across the world is rising and rising and rising. And that's the challenge. And that's where many countries are saying, no, we don't want to phase out or phase down. That's too dangerous. It would undermine seriously the energy security of the planet.
Yes, and the health of well-being of just being able to keep people warm in winter. It's as simple as that. When you look at going forth to COP29, we've seen the announcement that Azerbaijan is looking forward to working together to continue on the momentum that we've seen here at COP28. How has this been received that Azerbaijan will be the next host?
Well, to be honest with you, it's very recent. So Azerbaijan is a country, it's a country in Asia, between Asia and Europe, and basically, not many know much about Azerbaijan, to be honest with you. It's a country where 70% of its income comes from fossil fuel, of its GDP. So it's a great opportunity for Azerbaijan and for the region to address renewable and across the board.
Well, Sal, we do appreciate your time. It's the final day of COP28, so we know it's a busy one for you. So Sal Jaffar, the founder and CEO of EsgMena.com, we appreciate your insights and your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And he's been doing an incredible job. That website you can see, EsgMena.com. It's the first and only environment, social and governance knowledge hub in the MENA region. And you can hear with Sal, he's across every issue. And he's also so deeply passionate about what this means for the UAE and also what it means for sustainability and climate change.
Well, that's right. That is a passion that every single individual on this planet needs to have, needs to possess, because we're not just talking about one small time goal achieved or not achieved. It is something which has repercussions for time to come, for generations to come.
0586861